Hi everyone, my name is Janice Lujan and I'm hypnosis student. Today I'm going to talk about the recent problem that is happening in my country and we all should be informed about it. The problem is the modification of forest law or law number 297563. To begin with the problem, let's take a little bit context. The political constitution of Peru brings the rights to everyone to a balanced environment and establish the sustainable development in the Amazon through appropriate legislation. However, recently, the modification of forestry and wildlife law, or law number 31973, was approved by the Congress of the Republic of Peru. That is against the constitutional provision and mainly affects the biodiversity of the Amazon, as well as the collective rights of native populations. This modification consists of two changes that could be a negative progress to forest management. One of them is about the Ministry of Agriculture and Irrigation, what will assume the designation of permanent production forest to replace the Ministry of the Environment. The second one is about the responsibility of approving forest zoning, what will be transferred Midagri instead of Minam. Under this line, these changes are questioned. By the main function of Minam, it's the following: develops, directs, supervises, and executes the natural environmental policy. Likewise, it fulfills the function of promoting the conservation and sustainable use of natural resources, biological diversity, and protect the natural areas. Despite everything expressed above, this is a controversial issue because there are divided opinions about the viability of this modification. So, let's move on to the causes. The promoters allege that the proposal seeks to directly benefit small farmers in condition of poverty. The reason is the bad management of forest and agricultural lands. Only 60% of our agriculture is carried out on land legally classified as cropland. Forest lands are not supposed to be used for agricultural activities. However, this was already impossible because for years, many forest lands have been used for livestock. This is because our governments never classified and formalized lands since the time of our ex-president Velasco. As a consequence, many companies don't have tradable documents over the years, nor have they adequately regularized the use of their lands. The other cause is more recently. The European Union is prohibiting the agricultural exports from areas where there is deforestation, and that is going to be starting in 2025. The new European regulation approved in May 2023 but which will begin in 2025, requires regularized titles and lands operation according to the corresponding use. Now I'm going to talk about the consequence. This complementary provision enables, as we have seen in the causes, its purpose is to benefit. Despite of that, there are legally lawless that have to be strictly regulated because the creation of exclusion areas for agricultural purposes will not require going through a classification by their greater use capacity. Nor meeting the requirement demand in Article 38 of Forest Law, which requests a microzoning study be supported by Regional Forestry and Wildlife Authority. With this, the norm will become a mechanism of impunity, destruction, and violation of human rights by allowing the installation of agricultural or agro-industrial activities without first evaluating whether an area has the capacity to be used as a forestry or agricultural land. As a second consequence, we can highlight that those who will benefit are the people who previously failed to complete the regulation of forest law. They are going to win the protection of forests and environmental management. We must remember that the Amazon is the habitat of thousands of endangered animals. For instance, I could mention the otorongo, the yellow-tailed woolly monkey, the Amazon pink dolphin, the giant otter, the pudu, and others. On the other hand, without trees, CO2 will remain in the atmosphere and the well-known greenhouse effects will occur, which we all have felt in this hellish summer. Another point I want to make is about our economy. It seems that our authorities have forgotten that our Peruvian Amazon is direct sources to raw materials, drug and fuel components, and in the long term, the lack of these resources can also lead to economic and environmental instability. The last consequence covers the breach of the rights and agreements that will be committed by the Peruvian government. Those who could be violating human rights, such as the right to a balanced, healthy, and sustainable environment. And I like to focus on the affectation of indigenous and native peoples' rights. The impact on the right to the territories of indigenous peoples is not taken into consideration. The right of prior consultation was also violated by reason of the legislative proposal didn't receive the opinion of any organization of indigenous people. All of this is supported by the framework of the ILO Convention 169, which mentions that the Peruvian government has an obligation with the collective rights of indigenous people. Consequently, the promulgation of the law number 31973 would be a violation of the international obligation by weakening environmental forest management. I'm going to mention possible solutions. Citizens must demand the rejection of this modification and support the indigenous and environmental organizations. In these times when we can have unlimited access to technology, we can also share information in our social networks. It seems that we can't resolve anything with it, but as more people inform themselves, we will be able to raise our voices. Another way to solve the problems I was talking before is by collecting signatures for the repeal of the law. At the same time, we can participate in peaceful march where our disagreement will be expressed. I would like to finish this presentation by saying, although it is a lot of corruption in our government and it's almost possible that for this new modification to be repealed due to everything mentioned above, it is important we open our eyes and be aware of those who govern us. I'm really ashamed that we must leave the consequence for the monetary benefit on unscrupulous people. I'm really ashamed that we must leave the consequence for monetary benefit of unscrupulous people. Their own selfish action will be the beginning of destruction. So, thanks for listening this video and please share the information.